album in the near future?
Well, yes, there are thoughts of that. Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, because it's been
but I will say that next year, 2022, is the 15th anniversary of Angel Down. That's the record that has American Metalhead on it. And we are planning, I am anyways, I hope the record company is, but I want to put out the record on vinyl for the first time. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So hopefully that will happen next year.
Nice, because one of my questions for you was CD or vinyl? You like the return of vinyl?
No, it's obviously vinyl because this is what the band originally made. Like in 1976, Kiss didn't make a CD of Rock and Roll Over. They made an album. This is what they made. Yeah. And my whole argument of CDs versus vinyl. Number one, I do like and collect CDs. And they're precious to me because you can get different things on CD than you can get on vinyl and vice versa. But as a music collector, okay, say you collect baseball cards. What do you want, the 1985 version of the card? Or do you want the 1942 version of the card? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't want a 1987 repackaged version of a vinyl album that was made in 1977. Like I want the record that the band made. I want to hear what 1977 sounded like the production and the studio and even the pressing of the album, because you can find pressings, editions that are hotter and sound different than others, and I'm that much into it. Nice. I love CDs, but as a collector, I want the collection of the original copy. I don't want something that came out 10 or 15 years later that a record company made. I want what the band originally made. That's what I collect specifically. I don't, Eddie Trunk's like, oh, it's $40 and you got to turn from side A to side B.
So what?
It sounds
for $40, I can go to a record store, buy first pressing records, not new records. I don't buy those. I buy the old ones. I can get
a stack
better. Of records for $40 that is a pretty substantial stack of albums. I don't know what store he's going to.
Only the best for Eddie.
I'll take him to some stores where you can get a shitload of albums for $40.
Exactly. Nice. Now, Sebastian, we have this great show coming up at the Crystal Grand Music Theater in the Dells coming up on September 10th. It's you and Steven Adler and Hurricane Alice. What can our listeners be expecting when they come to see Sebastian Bach on that night?
Well, I got to be honest with you. This all could collapse at any time because I don't know what's going on with concerts. Now, all I'm telling you is that I'm not going to cancel it. I'm not going to postpone anything. I've done that enough. So I'm ready to rock. I don't know what that means in this day and age. I don't know how to answer. Like, I hope it's going to be great. I'm going to do my part to do as good as I can. I'm running my ass off 4 miles a day. I'm living in Vegas, so I got to do that really early in the morning. But that's what I do to get ready to go on stage. And after, when I got hit with COVID, that messed me up for like a week or so.
I bet.
But I'm back now. I'm back now, getting ready for the show. You can just expect my pipes to be ripping as usual.
Nice.
Awesome.
I don't think we're doing the whole Slave to the Grind record front to back, that show, because it's a festival and that tour hasn't really started yet.
Okay.
So I think it'll be more of a mix between the first album and Slave, and that's what we've been playing. But we're gonna kick ass. But it's just still so surreal to be putting concerts on. So we're all in this together. Please get vaccinated, please. Okay, so you don't get sick and die. Like, that's no fun. Nobody wants that.
No, totally.
So that's how I'd answer your question.
Awesome. Now, the most important question of the whole thing: Quicksand's Jesus or A Darkened Room? Which song could have benefited most from adding cowbell?
That's a great question. Well, I mean, you can't bring the cowbell into it because that's a deal breaker. No. I will say.
Everything's better. Everything's better.
Everything, yes. I agree. I will say this, that In a Darkened Room was Dimebag Darrell's favorite Skid Row song. Cool. And he told me this. He would tell me this late at night drinking and drill it into my head on how that was his favorite song that I've ever recorded. And Rita told me that he got the In a Darkened Room 45, which I don't think was released in America. I think it's from Japan or Germany or something. Wow. And he got the 45 so he could put it in his jukebox in his living room. And she told me he would get drunk and play that song over and over and over. And I think that's one of the best Skid Row songs, and how it didn't make the record the best of Skid Row to me is like a joke, but I didn't have nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who that's their favorite song. Yeah. Just the
vocals
the
are
vocal
amazing.
Melody is just beautiful. Yeah, it's just so touching.
It's really weird. When I met my wife, Suzanne, like 7 or 8 years ago, she lived in a apartment kind of complex down in deep, like in L.A., and I was in the alleyway right outside her apartment, and I was all excited to be with her, and I was in love and everything, and I was there. And someone from the apartment, like 3 floors up, while I was standing there for the first time, cranked In a Darkened Room. And there's no way they could have known that was me standing there, but it was like a movie. I was like, what in the hell is going on? And it was coming from this window, like 3 floors up. I go, there's no way somebody up there knows that I'm standing here. They were playing it real loud, like it meant a lot to them. And I was like, hey, it's me, man. What's going on?
Nice.
I never got in contact with them.
That's
People
awesome.
like that song.
It is. It's a great song. Well, Sebastian, on the way out of the interview, we always let the artist pick the song. So what from your catalog would you like us to play on the way out?
Well, if you ask me, I would say play American Metalhead.
All right.
Nice. Well,
because that's metal to the core, and I would say one of the reasons I'd say play that song. If anybody has ever seen the movie Sound City by Dave Grohl, about the studio and he bought the board from the studio. This album and this song were recorded at that studio on that board, and that whole movie is about there is a certain magical sound and a certain magical vibe from that studio and that Neve board. And here it is. I am lucky that I got to make a record there, and I hear the magic. I hear it in the production of this song. I hear the vibe of metal. And if you like Skid Row, you cannot not like American Metalhead. It's as good or better than anything that I put out with Skid Row. So there's my choice.
All right. Well, we're going to get it on. Here is American Metalhead on Rockin' Metal Revival.